Hello everyone and welcome back to Nathan Deer's Guide to Everything. Today we have the follow-on video for our cleric Falcon from last time around on our beginner's guide on how to make a cleric. Today we're going to be leveling him up a little bit and I'm going to be showing you some spells and magic items to consider when creating a cleric like this, when playing that supportive role, that healer in your party. So like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate any of the support. Let's just jump into this build. Going over to my characters, you can see we've used all of our 6 of 6 slots now, so one of these is going to have to go next time around. Or I'll just move it to my main account in future. Potentially, we'll see. Let's go straight to edit for Falcon here. And I do actually have a last name for him. We're going with Falcon Arborea. Falcon Arborea. And Arborea is a reference. I did a bit more diving into kind of Demeter's lore within, I guess, D&D, and this is one of the places she went to. This is like the 2nd level in Olympus or something along those lines. Anyway, Falcon Arborea, I thought it sounded pretty good, so we're going with that for now. So we'll go straight over to the class, and we're actually going to get up to level 5 just so I can show you a few more features of what the cleric is all about. Otherwise it would just be an ability score improvement. We do get some more stuff if we continue. We get some extra healing and stuff at level 6. So jumping straight into the cleric section, we're going all the way up to level 6 this time around, just so I can show you a few more things about what the life domain cleric looks like. For our ability score improvement, we're going to go a double into wisdom, which should put us at 19, I think, overall right now. At 5th level, we do unlock the destroy undead feature. So whenever we use our channel divinity to turn undead and that creature fails, it is instantly destroyed if its challenge rating is at or below a certain threshold, as shown in this table here. So if we encounter any undead that happen to be of a half challenge rating or lower, they are instantly destroyed instead of just turned away from us. Really, really effective and really powerful if that's the kind of campaign you're playing in. Continuing on, we unlock a Blessed Healer feature at level 6 as a Life Domain Cleric. Beginning at 6th level, the healing spells you cast on others heal you as well. When you cast a spell of 1st level or higher that restores hit points to a creature other than you, you regain hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. So we had that Disciple of Life feature early on, and Blessed Healer gives us that bonus as well. So we'll be staying topped off whenever we're healing other people, which is likely that we'll be damaged as well if we are in combat with at least a creature that is somewhat switched on, somewhat smart. Now we'll jump straight back into the character sheet and we'll see what I've done here. So the one thing you'll notice probably straight away is that our armor is now absolutely massive at 21, and we also have a constitution of 17. How have you done that, you might ask? Well, some magic items that you may come across in your games that could be useful for such a cleric as follows. The ones I've got equipped are the Belt of Dwarven Kind, which in a dwarvish society you can come across maybe as a quest reward or something like that, and this is a bit of a stretch for a level 6 character, but one rare item amongst a party like this shouldn't impact the game too much, so definitely request from your DM if you can for an item similar to this. And again, you can ask in or out of game really, you can just try and buy it if you have the money. It should be readily available in some capacity. We've upgraded our Green Dragon Spear from a +1 to just a +2 weapon, and again, if this was me, I think I would be looking for like enchantments and all kind of things if I was actually playing the game, but this is just a beginner's guide, so keeping it simple. This is just a +2 weapon that I've renamed as the Green Dragon Spear, our signature weapon, I guess, in this case. I've also gone for an uncommon magic item known as the Eyes of the Eagle, and like I mentioned in the first video, the rolling perception is actually the most rolled skill in the game, so being able to get advantage on that is absolutely huge, as well as this, when it's clear visibility, it says when it's a clear day, you can see tiny things or really distant creatures or objects as even small as 2 feet across in good detail. So it has a few kind of roleplay elements to it as well, but mostly we're just going for that advantage on perception that relies on sight, so you're not surprised, you're keeping your party alive. That's what you're there for after all, as a life cleric. Continuing on, we've gone for a Pearl of Power, another uncommon magic item, which allows you to expend a charge so that you can regenerate a new spell slot that is 3rd level or lower. Really, really useful for low-level spellcasters, or any spellcaster to be fair, but it does require attunement, so kind of by later game, you'll probably only equip this for something else, I would imagine, like a Ring of Spell Storing or something along those lines, a more powerful version of something like this. I've also gone for a quick update I've also gone for a really quick upgrade martially as well, not only our spear but also our shield. So rather than just having a normal shield, we have a shield plus 1. Some alternatives to these, because we have filled out our attunement slots already here. Some alternatives, rather than a belt of Dwarven Kind, you go for a belt of Hill Giant Strength. And what that would do, let's say we had one or the other in this case, we went for a belt of Hill Giant Strength because you can't wear 2 belts. That takes our strength all the way up to 21, but drops our hit points significantly. But that buffs our damage. So if you find you're more in combat than you initially thought you were going to be, this could be a fantastic option if you can get your hands on one of these, depending on what you're fighting in your campaigns. We're going to switch back to the Belt of Dwarven Kind for now though. Another couple of options is the Staff of Healing, which acquires attunement by a Bard, Cleric or Druid. And I was going to say the Staff of the Woodlands, but I made a mistake. It's only available to Druids. I was going to lean into that kind of Demeter side of it, with being able to talk to animals, shapeshift and things. But actually, saying that, you could homebrew this to be equipable by a Cleric as well. Or if you multi-classed into a Druid, there you go. You've got a fun one there for you to lean more into that nature side of things. Staff of Healing, yeah, fantastic. Usable, and we can cast more healing spells out of it, and it means we don't have to use our spell slots to do that. So outside of combat, this could be great to just pull out and do some enchantments for your party. One final thing to mention, which I did forget, we have actually upgraded to plate armor as well, which is very expensive in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. 1,500 gold pieces. By level 6, your party should be able to afford something like this, and if you can upgrade to this, absolutely do. It does decrease your walking speed, but you're kind of a bit slower as a dwarf anyway, so why not? Right, now comes the fun stuff. We've gone through some recommended items. Now let's look into the spells, which get a bit more tasty as you go up the high levels. Now, I love clerics for their spells. I really like playing slightly darker ones like the Grave Cleric, things like that. They're really, really fun. But let's take a look at what we get as a Life Cleric. We get one more cantrip, so we could go for like light to be the guiding light, but I really like utility things like mending to mend small items. Literally is how it works. We'll take a look at our 2nd and 3rd level spell slots, because we've already got 5, 6, 7 prepared 1st level spells because of our bonuses from just being a life domain cleric. So we'll just go straight to 2nd level. So I think with something like this, you're going to play a support role primarily. So outside of combat, you could go for a Prayer of Healing, which is a fairly long-winded spell. It's casting time of 10 minutes, but everybody around you gets some bonus healing, as well as with your Disciple of Life feature, more and more and more. We're just enhancing all that stuff. We already have Lesser Restoration and Spiritual Weapon always prepared as a Life Cleric. I was going to recommend Spiritual Weapon anyway. It means you can hit things from a distance, keep your spellcasting focus out, and you can just stay at the back without having to put yourself at risk to heal your friends, because you'll have Healing Word and things like that as well. If you really wanted some really fun utility, Silence is fantastic to silence other spellcasters, enemy spellcasters specifically, if you have enough awareness of the battlefield. But again, Bless is going to be the thing that you're concentrating on most of the time when in battle, or at least you should be, I believe. Hold Person is just too good to pass up, and I think perhaps because we are trying to avoid combat as a Life Cleric, that was one of our kind of personality bonds, we could go for Calm Emotions to calm someone down if they're particularly angry at us for whatever reason. Who knows if it's going to work, but it's always worth a try. And finally, at 3rd level, again, we really want to lean into this kind of healing aspect of what we're about. And if you want to keep things away from you, you go for Spirit Guardians. Incredible spell. You get spirits that swirl around you within 15 feet, I believe, and anything that comes in gets just battered by these spirits. These can take any form you want. I guess as a worshipper of Demeter, this could come in the form of little forested animals, or it could just be her, just these very graceful women, all with spears, like these warrior spirits all around you. This goddess taking on her avatar forms, or whatever it might be. We always have Revivify prepared, another incredible spell which does require diamonds, never forget that, to bring things back from the dead if needed. And we also have Beacon of Hope as well. We can choose any number of creatures within range for the duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing. Not to be scoffed at, Beacon of Hope is a fantastic spell in a pinch. It is concentration, but for at least, if you can keep it up for at least 1 round, you can get a full round of mass healing to everybody around you. And going on that exact thing, combined with Mass Healing Word, this is a big deal. So we're going to prepare Mass Healing Word as well. Things get maximum healing and we can heal everyone, plus our Disciple of Life bonus, plus our Preservation, so we heal as well. It's it all stacks on top of each other and just gets out of hand. And by just so you know, statistically, and shout out to I believe it's a website called RPG Handbook. I was doing a bit of research and trying to find out what the best healing class was in the game when I was making this, and it is actually the Life Cleric. From level 4 onwards, it is the most effective healing class in the game. So if that's the role you want to fill, if you want to be the healer, if you want to be the support, Life Domain Cleric is absolutely the way to go. As long as you're, I guess, maxing out your stats and things like that, it's absolutely the best way to go. So that's a summary of our spells. So we've done our inventory, we've done our spells. That does kind of sum it up for now. This is a fairly short video. This is a recap of just, I guess, how to play a cleric. I've recommended some magic items. We've chosen some really fun spells, but this is just my recommendation and just my opinion. So you form your own, you choose your own god, whatever you want to do. Half the fun of being a cleric is kind of taking this approach to your deity. How do you spread the word about them? How do you try and get more worshippers if you want them to have more worshippers, or do you want to be their one and only champion? It's a really fun kind of dynamic, but you will, if you play a Life Domain Cleric, I guarantee you'll be loved by your party because they'll never have to buy healing potions basically, although I would still recommend that just in a pinch in case you go down. You never know. Again, I feel like I'm missing out on something, but there's not that much more to say. Our saving throws are great, our statistics are great. Focus on your wisdom, focus on your constitution, and I guess some more inventory items. As with my last video covering the wizard, a cloak of displacement is incredible. Anything that increases your survivability is good on any class. So if you can get your hands on any of those items I've previously mentioned, then do so. That brings us to the end of this cleric build, this how-to, this beginner's guide. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like, a comment and subscribe if you've got any suggestions on how to make this character better for everybody else that wants to watch this, that needs some advice. Yeah, sound off in the comments below. Dungeons & Dragons has a fantastic community already, so let's just keep that going. If you're not subscribed and you're new here, please do subscribe. I really appreciate the support, and you can leave a comment with what you'd like to see next from the channel. I'm always open to suggestions. That's all from me for today. Have a fantastic day, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh, this has been Nathan and Deer's Guide to Everything. Don't remember whether I said that or not. We'll play the animation again anyway. Bye.